Manupma Technologies Private Limited, Internal Auditor Training Program. ISO 19011, 2018. Guidelines for Auditing Management Systems. Guidelines for Auditing Management Systems. 3.1 Audit. Systematic, independent and documented process for obtaining objective evidence and evaluating it objectively to determine the extent to which the audit criteria are fulfilled. 3.2 Combined Audit. Audit carried out together at a single auditee on two or more management systems. 3.3 Joint Audit. Audit carried out at a single auditee by two or more auditing organizations. 3.4 Audit Program. Arrangements for a set of one or more audits planned for a specific time frame and directed towards a specific purpose. 3.5 Audit Scope. Extent and boundaries of an audit. 3.6 Audit Plan. Description of the activities and arrangements for an audit. 3.7 Audit Criteria. Set of requirements used as a reference against which objective evidence is compared. 3.8 Objective Evidence. Data supporting the existence or verity of something. 3.9 Audit Evidence. Records, statements of fact or other information which are relevant to the audit criteria and verifiable. 3.10 Audit Findings. Results of the evaluation of the collected audit evidence against audit criteria. 3.11 Audit Conclusion. Outcome of an audit after consideration of the audit objectives and all audit findings. 3.12 Audit Client. Organization or person requesting an audit. 3.13 Auditee. Organization as a whole or parts thereof being audited. 3.14 Audit Team. One or more persons conducting an audit, supported if needed by technical experts. 3.15 Auditor. Person who conducts an audit. 3.16 Technical Expert. Audit, person who provides specific knowledge or expertise to the audit team. 3.17 Observer. Individual who accompanies the audit team but does not act as an auditor. 3.18 Management System. Set of interrelated or interacting elements of an organization to establish policies and objectives and processes to achieve those objectives. 3.19 Risk. Effect of uncertainty. 3.20 Conformity. Fulfillment of a requirement. 3.21 Non-conformity. Non-fulfillment of a requirement. 3.22 Competence. Ability to apply knowledge and skills to achieve intended results. 3.23 Requirement. Need or expectation that is stated, generally implied or obligatory. 3.24 Process. Set of interrelated or interacting activities that use inputs to deliver an intended result. 3.25 Performance. Measurable result. 3.26 Effectiveness. Extent to which planned activities are realized and planned results achieved. 4. Principles of auditing. Auditing is characterized by reliance on a number of principles. These principles should help to make the audit an effective and reliable tool in support of management policies and controls by providing information on which an organization can act in order to improve its performance. Adherence to these principles is a prerequisite for providing audit conclusions that are relevant and sufficient, and for enabling auditors, working independently from one another, to reach similar conclusions in similar circumstances. 5. Managing an audit program. 5.1 General. An audit program should be established which can include audits addressing one or more management system standards or other requirements, conducted either separately or in combination, combined audit. The extent of an audit program should be based on the size and nature of the auditee, as well as on the nature, functionality, complexity, the type of risks and opportunities, and the level of maturity of the management systems to be audited. 5.2 Establishing Audit Program Objectives. The audit client should ensure that the audit program objectives are established to direct the planning and conducting of audits and should ensure the audit program is implemented effectively. Audit program objectives should be consistent with the audit client's strategic direction and support management system policy and objectives. 5.3 Determining and evaluating audit program risks and opportunities. There are risks and opportunities related to the context of the auditee that can be associated with an audit program and can affect the achievement of its objectives. The individuals managing the audit program should identify and present to the audit client the risks and opportunities considered when developing the audit program and resource requirements so that they can be addressed appropriately. 5.4 Establishing the audit program. 5.4.1 Roles and responsibilities of the individuals managing the audit program. The individuals managing the audit program should establish the extent of the audit program according to the relevant objectives, see 5.2, and any known constraints. Determine the external and internal issues and risks and opportunities that can affect the audit program, and implement actions to address them, integrating these actions in all relevant auditing activities as appropriate. Ensuring the selection of audit teams and the overall competence for the auditing activities by assigning roles, responsibilities and authorities, and supporting leadership as appropriate. Establish all relevant processes including processes for determine and ensure provision of all necessary resources. Ensure that appropriate documented information is prepared and maintained, including audit program records. Monitor, review and improve the audit program. Communicate the audit program to the audit client and, as appropriate, relevant interested parties. 5.4.2 Competence of individuals managing audit program. The individuals managing the audit program should have the necessary competence to manage the program and its associated risks and opportunities and external and internal issues effectively and efficiently. 5.4.3 Establishing extent of audit program. The individuals managing the audit program should determine the extent of the audit program. This can vary depending on the information provided by the auditee regarding its context. 5.4.4 Determining audit program resources. When determining resources for the audit program, the individuals managing the audit program should consider the financial and time resources, audit methods, the individual and overall availability of auditors, the extent of the audit program, travel time and cost, accommodation and other auditing, the impact of different time zones, the availability of information and communication technologies, the availability of any tools, technology and equipment, the availability of necessary documented information, requirements related to the facility, including any security clearances and equipment. 5.5 Implementing Audit Program. 5.5.1 General. Once the audit program has been established and related resources have been determined, it is necessary to implement the operational planning and the coordination of all the activities within the program. 5.5.2 Defining the objectives, scope and criteria for an individual audit. Each individual audit should be based on defined audit objectives, scope and criteria. These should be consistent with the overall audit program objectives. 5.5.3 Selecting and determining audit methods. The individuals managing the audit program should select and determine the methods for effectively and efficiently conducting an audit, depending on the defined audit objectives, scope, and criteria. 5.5.4 Selecting audit team members. The individuals managing the audit program should appoint the members of the audit team, including the team leader and any technical experts needed for the specific audit. 5.5.5. Assigning responsibility for an individual audit to the audit team leader. The individuals managing the audit program should assign the responsibility for conducting the individual audit to an audit team leader. 5.5.6 Managing audit program results. The individuals managing the audit program should ensure that the following activities are performed. Evaluation of the achievement of the objectives for each audit. Review and approval of audit reports. Review of the effectiveness of actions taken. Distribution of audit reports. Determination of the necessity for any follow-up audit. 5.5.7. Managing and maintaining audit program records. The individuals managing the audit program should ensure that audit records are generated, managed, and maintained to demonstrate the implementation of the audit program. Processes should be established to ensure that any information security and confidentiality needs associated with the audit records are addressed. 6. Conducting an audit. 6.1 General. This clause contains guidance on preparing and conducting a specific audit as part of an audit program. Provides an overview of the activities performed in a typical audit. The extent to which the provisions of this clause are applicable depends on the objectives and scope of the specific audit. 6.2 Initiating audit. 6.2.1 General. The responsibility for conducting the audit should remain with the assigned audit team leader until the audit is completed. 6. 2.2 Establishing contact with auditee. The audit team leader should ensure that contact is made with the auditee. 6.2.3 Determining feasibility of audit. The feasibility of the audit should be determined to provide reasonable confidence that the audit objectives can be achieved. 6.3 Preparing audit activities. 6.3.1 Performing review of documented information. The relevant management system documented information of the auditee should be reviewed in order to gather information to understand the auditee's operations and to prepare audit activities. Establish an overview of the extent of the documented information. 6.3.2 Audit planning. 6.3.2.1 Risk-based approach to planning. The audit team leader should adopt a risk-based approach to planning the audit based on the information in the audit program and the documented information provided by the auditee. Audit planning should consider the risks of the audit activities on the auditee's processes and provide the basis for the agreement among the audit client, audit team, and the auditee regarding the conduct of the audit. Planning should facilitate the efficient scheduling and coordination of the audit activities in order to achieve the objectives effectively. 6.3.2.1 Audit planning details. The scale and content of the audit planning can differ, for example, between initial and subsequent audits, as well as between internal and external audits. Audit planning should be sufficiently flexible to permit changes which can become necessary as the audit activities progress. 6.3.2 Assigning work to audit team. The audit team leader, in consultation with the audit team, should assign to each team member responsibility for auditing specific processes, activities, functions or locations and, as appropriate, authority for decision-making. Such assignments should take into account the impartiality and objectivity and competence of auditors and the effective use of resources, as well as different roles and responsibilities of auditors in training, and technical experts. 6.3.4 Preparing documented information for audit. The audit team members should collect and review the information relevant to their audit assignments and prepare documented information for the audit using any appropriate media. The documented information for the audit can include but is not limited. 6.4 Conducting audit activities. 6.4.1 General. Audit activities are normally conducted in a defined sequence. This sequence may be varied to suit the circumstances of specific audits. 6.4.2 Assigning roles and responsibilities of guides and observers. Guides and observers may accompany the audit team with approvals from the audit team leader, audit client, and/or auditee, if required. They should not influence or interfere with the conduct of the audit. If this cannot be assured, the audit team leader should have the right to deny observers from being present during certain audit activities. 6.4.3 Conducting opening meeting. The purpose of the opening meeting is to confirm the agreement of all participants, e.g. auditee, audit team, to the audit plan. Introduce the audit team and their roles. Ensure that all planned audit activities can be performed. 6.4.4 Communicating during audit. During the audit, it may be necessary to make formal arrangements for communication within the audit team, as well as with the auditee, the audit client, and potentially with external interested parties, e.g. regulators, especially where statutory and regulatory requirements require mandatory reporting of non-conformities. 6.4.5 Audit information availability and access. The audit methods chosen for an audit depend on the defined audit objectives, scope and criteria, as well as duration and location. The location is where the information needed for the specific audit activity is available to the audit team. This may include physical and virtual locations. 6.4.6 Reviewing documented information while conducting audit. The auditee's relevant documented information should be reviewed. 6.4.7 Collecting and verifying information. During the audit, information relevant to the audit objectives, scope and criteria, including information relating to interfaces between functions, activities and processes, should be collected by means of appropriate sampling and should be verified as far as practicable. 6.4.8 Generating audit findings. Audit evidence should be evaluated against the audit criteria in order to determine audit findings. Audit findings can indicate conformity or non-conformity with audit criteria. When specified by the audit plan, individual audit findings should include conformity and good practices along with their supporting evidence, opportunities for improvement, and any recommendations to the auditee. 6.4.9 Determining audit conclusions. 6.4.9 1. Preparation for closing meeting. The audit team should confer prior to the closing meeting in order to review the audit findings and any other appropriate information collected during the audit. Agree on the audit conclusions. Prepare recommendations. Discuss audit follow-up. 6.4.9 To content of audit conclusions. Audit conclusions should address issues such as the following: the extent of conformity with the audit, the effective implementation, maintenance and improvement of the management system, achievement of audit objectives, coverage of audit scope and fulfillment of audit criteria. Similar findings made in different areas that were 6th April 2010, conducting closing meeting. A closing meeting should be held to present the audit findings and conclusions. The closing meeting should be chaired by the audit team leader and attended by the management of the auditee and include 6.5. Preparing and distributing audit report. 6.5.1 Preparing audit report. The audit team leader should report the audit conclusions in accordance with the audit program. The audit report should provide a complete, accurate, concise and clear record of the audit, and should include or refer to the following. 6.5.2. Distributing audit report. The audit report should be issued within an agreed period of time. If it is delayed, the reasons should be communicated to the auditee and the individuals managing the audit program. 6.6. Completing audit. The audit is completed when all planned audit activities have been carried out, or as otherwise agreed with the audit client, e.g., there might be an unexpected situation that prevents the audit being completed according to the audit plan. 6.7. Conducting audit follow-up. The outcome of the audit can, depending on the audit objectives, indicate the need for corrections, or for corrective actions, or opportunities for improvement. Such actions are usually decided and undertaken by the auditee within an agreed time frame. As appropriate, the auditee should keep the individuals managing the audit program and/or the audit team informed of the status of these actions. 7. Competence and evaluation of auditors. 7.1. General. Confidence in the audit process and the ability to achieve its objectives depends on the competence of those individuals who are involved in performing audits, including auditors and audit team leaders. 7.2. Determining auditor competence. 7.2.1. General. In deciding the necessary competence for an audit, an auditor's knowledge and skills related to the following should be considered: the size, nature, complexity, products, services and processes of auditees, the methods for auditing, the management system disciplines, the complexity, the types and levels of risks and opportunities, the objectives and extent of the audit program, the uncertainty in achieving audit objectives. 7. Personal behavior. Auditors should possess the necessary attributes to enable them to act in accordance with the principles of auditing as described in. Auditors should exhibit professional behavior during the performance of audit activities. Desired professional behaviors include being ethical, i.e., fair, truthful, sincere, honest and discreet, open-minded, diplomatic, observant, perceptive, versatile. 7.2.3. Knowledge and skills. 7.2.3.1. General. Auditors should possess the knowledge and skills necessary, generic competence and a level of discipline and sector-specific knowledge and skills. 7.2.3.2. Generic knowledge and skills of management system auditors. Auditors should have knowledge and skills in the areas: 7.2.3.3. Discipline and sector-specific competence of auditors. Audit teams should have the collective discipline and sector-specific competence appropriate for auditing the particular types of management systems and sectors. 7.2.3.4. Generic competence of audit team leader. In order to facilitate the efficient and effective conduct of the audit, an audit team leader should have the competence to plan the audit and assign audit tasks, discuss strategic issues, develop and maintain a collaborative working relationship, manage the audit process. 7.2.3.4. Knowledge and skills for auditing multiple disciplines. When auditing multiple discipline management systems, the audit team member should have an understanding of the interactions and synergy between the different management systems. 7.2.4. Achieving auditor competence. Auditor competence can be acquired using a combination of the following: successfully completing training programs, experience in a relevant technical, managerial or professional position, education, training and experience in a specific management system discipline, audit experience acquired. 7.2.5. Achieving audit team leader competence. An audit team leader should have acquired additional audit experience to develop the competence. 7. 3. Establishing auditor evaluation criteria. The criteria should be qualitative, such as having demonstrated desired behavior, knowledge or the performance of the skills in training or in the workplace, and quantitative, such as the years of work experience and education, number of audits conducted, hours of audit training. 7.4 Selecting appropriate auditor evaluation method. Table 2. Auditor evaluation methods. Review of records. To verify the background of the auditor. Analysis of records of education, training, employment, professional credentials and auditing experience. Feedback. To provide information about how the performance of the auditor is perceived, surveys, questionnaires, personal references, testimonials, complaints, performance evaluation, peer review. Interview. To evaluate desired professional behavior and communication skills, to verify information and test knowledge and to acquire additional information, personal interviews. Observation. To evaluate desired professional behavior and the ability to apply knowledge and skills, role-playing, witnessed audits, on-the-job performance. Testing. To evaluate desired behavior and knowledge and skills and their application, oral and written exams, psychometric testing. Post-audit review. To provide information on the auditor performance during the audit activities, identify strengths and opportunities for improvement, review of the audit report, interviews with the audit team leader, the audit team and, if appropriate, feedback from the audit. 7.3 Conducting auditor evaluation. The information collected about the auditor under evaluation should be compared against the criteria. 7.6 Maintaining and improving auditor competence. Auditors and audit team leaders should continually improve their competence. Auditors should maintain their auditing competence through regular participation in management system audits and continual professional development. This may be achieved through means such as additional work experience, training, private study, coaching, attendance at meetings, seminars and conferences or other relevant activities. Thank you for your attention.